At the centre of Paloma Varga Weisz's exhibition is a striking sculpture of a figure carved from limewood and suspended from the ceiling. It's a life-size version of a traditional artist's drawing model, a wooden, ball-jointed figure of the kind that was traditionally manipulated into different poses for an artist to sketch. But this particular figure is as much a human body as an anatomical model. It has a face, something close to a life mask or a death mask, and a gender. In this way, Varga Weisz has imbued the formulaic object, or studio prop, with a kind of subjectivity and humanity. There's an ambivalence about this figure, which is heightened by the way in which it hangs from the ceiling from a piece of rope, as if frozen in an acrobatic pose, or suspended even between life and death. And there's a sense, too, in which it might be reconfigured or rearranged into new poses, new attitudes. In the smaller sculptures, positioned around the gallery, Varga Weisz has created a group of characters in carved limewood who alternate in the same way between different identities. This particular figure is part human, part dog, perhaps a character from myth or folklore or a dream, but it also seems to stand outside of any particular narrative or time period. Despite the simplicity of its expression, there's a quality of melancholy and realism about it, psychological realism, which is common to all of these figures. These works look back to Varga Weisz's origins as a woodcarver in Bavaria in the late 1980s. At the same time, they reflect the different historical influences that have pervaded her work, whether surrealist eroticism or medieval art or modernist carved sculpture. In this piece, which is called Head on Head, the carved sculpture has been coated in gesso. It's a technique called polychromy, an ancient technique that the artist has used throughout her career. And this image of one head giving birth to another is also one that she's developed through her work. And here we see two very contrasting styles: a simple primitivist head, something redolent of modernist sculpture, giving birth seemingly to a much more expressive, smaller head that's not unlike the sculptures of Franz Xaver Messerschmidt from the 18th century. The second part of the exhibition consists of a group of works on paper dating from the 1990s to the present. And in these drawings and watercolours, we find the same kind of cast of characters, variously animal and human, comic and tragic, as are seen in the sculptures. So here on the left, for example, is a drawing called Marionette from 2001, again of an artist's drawing model which prefigures the sculpture downstairs and seems to show the model coming alive, but with a certain amount of ambivalence in its expression. And in this drawing from 2012, called Outside, you see a costumed female figure whose exterior is slipping away to reveal the skull and the skeleton beneath the skin. And in all the works in this exhibition, Varga Weisz seems to be playing with the idea of character. Character as something malleable and volatile, something that's constructed but can also be deconstructed, pulled apart and then remade.